Jackson on the drive, kicks it out for man. Man, three-pointer, bang! Oh, what a man!
Magic down the middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12, good!
Here's Michael at the foul line, a shot on Elo, good! The Bulls win it! They win it!
Now there's a steal by Murr. Underneath the DJ,
Going up over Bell, ball away. Yes! Yes! At the buzzer, he does it! Was there ever a doubt? A Smith screen. Posey will defend. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
It's a physical game. Oh, man, oh, my. A monster jam by Blake Griffin.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode, post-game 2022-23 season of Dime Dropper. Tonight, we got the Clippers and the Warriors. I did not attend the game, watched it from home, second straight game that I watched from home, but it was the second straight W I watched from home. 4 straight wins for the Clippers. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe on YouTube at Dime Dropper. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube at Dime Dropper. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dime Dropper Pod. And of course, listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you can't watch the YouTube version for whatever reason. But hey, super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1 a time. I know it's late tonight. I was somewhere during the game, so I had to watch the game a little bit back, like recorded. So I didn't finish the game till like 11 o'clock or 10:30. So it was going to take me a while to get on here, but we on here. Shout out to everybody in the live. Clippers win it again. That's 4 games in a row. The Golden State Warriors obviously coming in with that terrible road record. I think it was 7-26 coming into this game. And I was a little bit nervous because Steph Curry said to, I think it was like somebody filming him, one of those like NBA Snapchat or NBA, YouTube shorts. Somebody was filming him walking into the locker room, and this man Curry was like, we got to get one on the road now. We just got to get one on the road. And I think he may have said that also in the post-game interview, or it may have been one of those two. I don't know. Point is, I heard it out of his mouth. He was talking about we got to get one on the road, and that makes me nervous because I said it on Locked On the other day. When a great player says they really want to win, man, I got a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. And look, Steph Curry came out and absolutely hooped tonight. 50 points. 50. And he was doing it in a variety of ways, and he started right away, moving without the ball. He got the ball in pick and roll and was hitting as well, threes, mid-ranges, like circus finishes around the basket. It was absolutely incredible. I mean, that guy is just straight up one of the best players that's ever lived, one of the best players I've ever seen. You just got to marvel at his greatness, and it's honestly awesome to marvel at his greatness when you win. I mean, when you lose, it's annoying. And he was scaring me a little bit, but the Clippers, I got to say, and it starts from the beginning of the game, 4th straight game, they came out. Actually, I want to say 3rd straight because against Memphis, it was just a 4th quarter thing. But the 3rd straight game where they came out with much better defensive intensity. The Warriors are such a hard team to guard because they constantly move without the ball, especially Steph and Clay. They back cut. They read and react when you're overplaying them. They have counters to everything off the ball. They're not actually a heavy on-ball pick-and-roll team like most of the league. So it's a little bit different to guard them. You really got to communicate. What Warriors offense allows and those kind of offenses allow is a lot of miscommunication by the defense, human error, because you have to talk through so many screens, and Steph is such a threat coming off screens anyway. You want to know if you want to send a second defender, if you want to blitz him on-ball pick and rolls, if you want to throw 2 defenders on him coming off screens when he's off the ball before he even receives it, but that allows, somebody the screener to slip to the basket wide open depending on your spacing. It's a bunch of things you have to think about when you guard Steph Curry. But I knew what type of time the Clippers were on when Paul George was guarding Steph Curry from the tip. And Kawhi Leonard, from the tip off. Kawhi Leonard was guarding Klay Thompson right from the jump ball as well. So that showed me that it was serious tonight. They realized the situation, and this is just what we've been wanting the entire season, is more of this kind of attitude that we've seen the last 3 games. And I know it's hard to develop that when you have guys constantly coming out, the rotations changing and whatnot, but there's no excuse. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard set the tone. I think our on-ball defense overall is still a little bit of an issue. The Warriors scored 126 points in this game, but a large part of that is, one, the way they just play offense. I know they're middle of the pack in offensive rating, but they are just unbelievable when they're going. And Steph Curry scored 50 points and was hitting every shot imaginable and was absolutely in the zone. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do about that. And then overall, I think the Clippers still made it tough for them. And I think the game was just played at a very fast pace. So it was bound to be a high-scoring game. The Warriors want to run, but with guys like Russell Westbrook and Terrence Mann playing more, Clippers also were looking to run. And you also want to run when you get steals and force turnovers. And one of the best things the Clippers did in this game was force turnovers. We've talked about it all season, Clipper Nation. Clippers have been turning the ball over a lot, but the Warriors are actually worse at turning the ball over than them, and that should come as a surprise to absolutely nobody, because the Golden State Warriors, even in the years that they win championships, tend to turn the ball over a decent amount. Last year, I remember at one point thinking maybe they're not going to win the championship because they turned the ball over too much. But ultimately in the playoffs, when it came down to playoff time, crunch time, they were able to take care of the ball a lot better. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I want to say once again, super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1 or a dime. Shout out to everybody that supports me, even on this late Wednesday night. Now we're, past midnight, so it's Thursday. Shout out to everybody in the chat and everybody who's listening in the morning on your car ride or wherever you may be listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Let's keep on moving, though. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard set a tone. Their help defense was sharp. When Kawhi's guarding Clay and PG's guarding Steph and they're screening for each other, you can switch that all day long. So that was fantastic. I think the Clippers did such a good job of knowing who they wanted to switch on and who they didn't want to switch on. Just everybody knowing their coverages, everybody knowing the scheme. And that's just attention to detail, focus, taking pride defensively. And we've seen that in the last 3 games more than any. Paul George said the team came together and said, we got to start fucking winning games. Like, come on, let's do this. So that tells me it was a switch that they flipped. Yes, Russ is settling into the team. Yes, you have Ty Lue having to adjust and all that. But settling in to the team, it's much more than that. Sometimes you just got to play harder. Just got to play harder and take more pride on the defensive end, and that's what I think the Clippers have done the last 3 games, despite the high score. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George set that tone, and they also were just fantastic offensively, both with 24-plus points in this one. Paul George with 24 points, Kawhi Leonard with 30, and they also got huge contributions elsewhere. Ivica Zubac, Russell Westbrook, Eric Gordon, and Terrence Mann all in double figures. It was an absolute masterclass as well from Ty Lue, who I thought had his best coaching game of the season. And I'm going to describe why as I continue. But yes, he was helped out by a certain ejection to Marcus Morris. So let's get right into it. First quarter was really interesting because the Clippers just came out ice cold. Ice cold. And when and it's funny because I said it on Locked On Clippers yesterday in the episode. I said it's likely going to be DiVincenzo guarding Paul George, and then God, who fucking starts? Klay Thompson guarding Kawhi Leonard. Draymond Green was guarding Russ. I said he was going to guard Marcus Morris, but he was guarding Russ, and I should have known that considering that's what they did last time. But the Clippers, Russ was starting out missing some shots in the beginning of the game. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George weren't hitting in the beginning. We were pretty cold to start, and the Warriors were just beating us on back cuts left and right, starting with Steph Curry, and they were up 8-1. But after that, we started to settle in. Kawhi hit a mid-range, and you right there, he was going to get going. And I got to be real, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they were switching the pick and roll with DiVincenzo and Clay. So when PG was screening for Kawhi, they were letting DiVincenzo guard Kawhi, and it wasn't working. They had no answer for Kawhi Leonard all night. They had no answer for Paul George really all night. They were double teaming a lot, overloading, loading up, whatever you want to call it. And the Clippers were making them pay swinging the ball. It's exactly what I said. Without Andrew Wiggins and Gary Payton, they are not going to trust these guys on an island to guard Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, whether it be Steph Curry, whether it be DiVincenzo. Klay Thompson, they let him guard a little bit more. But overall, the Clippers did their thing. And those guys weren't that effective. So slowly they started easing into things. Russell Westbrook, I've been saying for multiple games now, since the first couple of games we got him, that they're going to let him shoot Everybody knows that, but the Clippers are encouraging him to take the corner three very clearly. And I thought this is where Ty Lue made the biggest adjustment, and this is, in my opinion, why he was the best. This was his best game to me this season as a coach. I thought his counter was going to be for Russ to attack the space, which it was. He was not taking those pull-up mid-ranges. He was going, if he was driving or looking to score in that situation where they were sagging feet off of him, he went right into the chest. There was one time he went right into the chest of Draymond Green. There was another time where he went right into the chest of Klay Thompson. And, man, that guy is strong. But that was one counter, which, I mean, we've seen him do that before. But the main one, I thought it was going to be more dribble handoffs and using Russ as a screener. And we saw just a little bit of that. But what was the real adjustment was they moved him to the weak side corner. Throw the ball to Kawhi and Paul George on the elbow or on the wing, he would go all the way to the opposite corner. So now their best help defender in Draymond Green is all the way over there. He's not going to be helping on the ball now. He's likely going to be sinking in to help the helper when the closest defender to Kawhi and Paul George doubles. And when that was happening, that allows the Clippers to move the ball, get the Warriors defense in rotation, and now you have certain guys attacking closeouts. And Russ absolutely can attack closeouts, but they were really leaving him open. And a couple times he made the corner three. I'm pretty sure all his three-point attempts in this one were corner threes. He shot 5 of them. He made 2 of them. 40% from 3, I'll take that all day. And honestly, I'm going to say it. I'm okay with the corner 3. I am. It has to be wide open, though. Has to be wide open. But I'm okay with the corner 3. Overall, that wasn't even the best of it. The offensive rebound, because when you're literally just not guarding Russ at all, what he was doing is, besides hitting that open weak side corner 3, now he's creeping in from that corner and cutting a little more. He was moving a little bit more off the ball in this one, being ready to cut, but he was really being ready to crash the glass. We were encouraging Paul George and Kawhi Leonard to take those contested mid-ranges because here's the thing. When teams hard double, that makes the pass a little bit more simple, you can say. When teams load up, they want to make you think about the pass a little more. But if you got mid-range snipers that don't need to drive, in the Clippers case, they have 2, but one of them is really a sniper, Kawhi Leonard. You can have a defender waiting behind the initial defender. It doesn't matter if he's just going to take 1 or 2 dribbles and not even try to get by him and just pull up and knock it down. And that's what Kawhi Leonard and Paul George do. So when they're not sending that full double and just loading up, Kawhi can choose. He can either take that mid-range shot because he's still basically one-on-one. Paul, the same thing applies. Or he can move the ball and just start swinging it quick and attacking the closeout. But the defense has a better chance to recover in that instance. The Clippers are countering everything very well. But Russell Westbrook crashing that glass was just amazing. And in the first quarter, the Clippers were up after it 28-23. The normal 9-man rotation was in effect tonight, the one we've started to become accustomed to without Norman Powell, and that's Nicholas Batum, Mason Plumlee, Eric Gordon, and Terrence Mann. So no Robert Covington, no Bones Highland. He had Paul George at 40 minutes tonight, Kawhi Leonard at 36. So you know how it goes. First, they took Russell Westbrook out, who was okay in the first. They put in Eric. And then slowly they put in Plumlee for Zoo. I thought Zoo had some pretty nice contests around the basket in the first quarter, but didn't get the ball much at all. Mason Plumlee obviously checking in for him. I'm surprised the Clippers didn't go small like that in this game at all. Because the Warriors, they had lineups with Draymond at center, Kuminga at center, whatever. But the Clippers, or actually, I shouldn't say Kuminga, JaMychal Green, former Clipper JaMychal Green, who I absolutely love, by the way. And the Clippers stayed big most of the game. Either Mason Plumlee or Ivica Zubac was on the floor. And the one guy that was just not playing well at all in the first quarter by any stretch was Marcus Morris again. I mean, he was trying on defense. I got to give it to him. He did have some successful contests for misses. But overall, you could just see he was slow, man. He's just slow, and he wasn't making his open shots. He still got a couple of open jumpers, and he couldn't get them to fall. I mean, it's just the conversation is done in terms of whether he should be starting or not. The conversation is also done on whether he's going to start or not, because he's not. I mean, he's not going to be taken out of the starting lineup, no. Because Ty Lue loves him, and he couldn't really accept it. But Nicholas Batum then shortly comes in for Paul George towards the end of the first quarter. And then Terrence Mann comes for Marcus Morris, who, by the way, played the first 8 minutes of the game. I don't understand what warrants him playing 8 minutes to start the game when he's not playing well. And we've seen this story over and over. Like, okay, you want to start him, but don't give him 8 straight minutes when he's not playing well, when Terrence Mann's just sitting there. But anyway, Kawhi Leonard played the whole first quarter. We staggered Kawhi and Paul, and Kawhi started growing into the game after Paul went out. I thought Paul was the aggressive one to start. He got us going with the jumper. But Kawhi, 11 points in the first quarter, knocking down the mid-range, getting to the foul line, hit a long jumper to end it. And going into the second quarter up by 5, I was feeling pretty good. 35-33 in favor of the Warriors in that second. And I thought Russell Westbrook did much better in that second stint. There was that great sequence where he stole the ball. I think it was from Draymond from behind once he got the rebound. Gave it to PG, who missed a 3. Russ got the offensive rebound on that long miss. Gave it back to PG. Same spot, different result. Absolutely awesome hustle from Russ. And Terrence Mann, when he came in the game, he immediately made an impact. Getting to the basket, attacking closeouts, playing decent defense. And the Clippers were causing turnovers. Jordan Poole was not as electric in this game as he was in the last time we saw him. And Jordan Poole, he had a decent first half shooting the ball, offensively. Overall, he was 6 for 11 from the field, 3 for 5 from deep, and 4 for 5 from the line, 19 points. If you look at his box score, 19 points, 5 assists, and that efficiency, you would think he had a good game. But man, that dude was getting cooked on defense all night long. He does not have a defensive bone in his body, and we were attacking him in the pick and roll. We didn't attack Steph much in the pick and roll until later in the game, like fourth quarter. But Jordan Poole, we were attacking him a lot. When I saw Russ in transition against him, I was like, easy, blow by. He's not strong enough. Putting him in the pick and roll action. I mean, weak show and recover from him. He's not interested in defense, clearly. The Clippers are exploiting that. Nicholas Batum was the bench player for the Clippers that played the least, but as always, Nico, a solid in his minutes. 6 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, active hands as usual, 2 for 5 from the field, and 2 for 4 from deep in 20 minutes of play. Actually, I apologize. It was Mason Plumlee who played the least amount of minutes of those rotation guys. Nico's second least. Mason, 4 points and 5 boards in 17 minutes of play, 2 for 2 in the game. I thought, he did a good job finishing those layups that he had and had a couple of rebounds. And he had that one steal. He had 2 steals in the game, but that one steal against Jordan Poole in that second quarter was nice. Got the ball on the floor, threw it out. I'm pretty sure Terrence Mann got a dunk off of it. But Clippers go into halftime up 61-58. There was a stretch in that second quarter where he had mid-post P, 2 possessions in a row, catching it at the elbow, and he scored right over Klay Thompson. Went to him the third time. He missed. But I absolutely just love seeing that. Keep feeding him in the mid-post. I don't know, in the elbow or at the elbow. I don't know why we don't do it enough. Just spam it, honestly, like 4 or 5 times a quarter or a stretch that he's in. I know that sounds like a lot, but honestly, it's such good results. It's like he's playing in not even an open run, like he's playing, one-on-one, 2 dribble limit, 3 dribble limit, and he just gets to his spot, rises over the top. It's beautiful. Sometimes he doesn't even need to take a dribble. But third quarter, the Warriors came out more aggressive, and I was afraid that we were going to suffer third quarter Warriors. And by the way, I skipped over it, but Marcus Morris got ejected in what I believe should have been a flagrant 1. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm old school. To me, yeah, it was a dirty play. It wasn't a play on the ball. It wasn't a basketball play. Flagrant 1. He got a little mad. 2 guys getting into it. He's pushed him to the ground. Flagrant 1. But anyway, whatever. It is what it is. It actually helped us in the end because we already know how I feel about Marcus Morris Sr. right now. The less he plays, the better. And Eric Gordon started that third quarter. Now, it wasn't a great start to the quarter, but I got to give the guys credit. They just staying engaged defensively and having active hands. The Warriors are going to turn the ball over and make unforced errors themselves, but they were doing a good job of just using their length to have active hands and cause turnovers, get their hands on the ball, hustle for loose balls. I thought we were first to most loose balls. I felt like we just wanted it a little bit more. But I'll tell you who wanted it a lot, Stephen Curry. And he was just putting on an absolute show in that third quarter. Kawhi Leonard matching him in that third. I think Kawhi had 25 points by the end of the third quarter. Steph had I want to say 35 or something. He was hitting these circus shots, threes in transition. And what makes Steph Curry so hard to guard is moving without the ball because he works so quickly off the catch. And sometimes he just catches and shoots. You don't have the time to double him unless you want to double and throw 2 guys on him before he even gets the ball. Well, that usually leaves a cutter wide open, and then you get downhill action with space. So that's kind of suicidal. But appreciate the super chat so much, everybody. Really do. Someone said Kawhi said it's a dark tunnel and we'll see the light. You know what's funny is I was just about to say, I think I called that out a couple games back when we were 0-5 with Russ. Where's the fucking light? I'm starting to see that light, but I just got to, I've always said top 3 seed or no chip. I'm starting to think maybe we could be the team that makes history or joins the historic teams in the Celtics and the Rockets. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I think having no expectations like I've done ever since I've had the no expectations, we've been winning games and I've been having fun. It's always right when I lose hope, we play great. So I'm going to continue doing that. Anyways, Clippers responded well from the early third quarter Warriors push, Steph Curry push. Kawhi Leonard, mid-range maestro. It's interesting because I think sometimes Kawhi still takes too long and dribbles a little too much compared to maybe like past players in that mid-range area, but he still makes the shot, so I can't really complain. Just me being picky about like one-on-one shit. But Kawhi did a great job finding the open man too, just moving the ball, reading the defense well. And again, Russell Westbrook in that third quarter is where he really shined. Coming from out of nowhere to get those offensive rebounds, making the defense pay for not guarding him. He even hit a bank shot, another corner 3, and just the rebounds were what was getting me the most hyped. I mean, it was just unreal. I love his energy. It's just the celebration after a good thing happens. That's why, I'm an emotional guy, man. You guys know that. You guys are my listeners. You know that. I wear my heart on my sleeve in everything I do. People that know me personally know that. I'm not a stoic guy. I'm all out in everything I do, 110%, things I love. And Russell Westbrook, I resonate with that, with him. That's why he's always been one of my favorite players. He pours his soul and heart and soul into the game. When he's sad, and you can tell, You can tell with the way he answers questions in post-game pressers, all of that. When he's hyped, he's getting the crowd involved. He's smiling. He's enthusiastic. He's talking. I just love that. We needed an emotional leader, a vocal leader, and I think that was huge. And Russ was just, he's still making good passes. I also think another way that Ty Lue got creative was when Russ is sagged off that much, he's got all the room in the world to make a pass. And Russell Westbrook is the best passer on our team by a landslide. And what you do then is you get guys coming off actions, off ball, off screens, and they're catching the ball in their areas. Like, for example, there was a play where Nico Batum comes off a little flare screen or a pin down, whatever it was, and flashes to the corner for an open 3. Russell Westbrook gets him right in the pocket. He gets his second 3 of the game. There was another one. Paul George moving off the ball, catches it right at the elbow coming off a screen. All he needs is to rise up and shoot. Russell Westbrook gets it to him right in the pocket. And having that ability to hit a guy right in his shooting pocket, doesn't have to make him go down or go up or adjust for the pass. That's huge because that's sometimes with NBA level length and athleticism, that 0.5 seconds gives the ability to give Paul George a clean shot versus semi-contested. And that is really good coaching, in my opinion. Get the ball to Kawhi in the mid-post. Russ now goes to the opposite corner. Russ now tries to flash middle and cut without the ball. They cut that off. Okay, now he's going to go to the corner. I mean, just great stuff from Ty Lue. I got to give him a lot of credit. And on the other end, we're giving Draymond the Russ treatment. They have 2 non-spacers as well. And by the way, they were not – when Zubac was beyond the foul line, they were literally just camping in the paint, and the refs were letting him consider it legal guarding position. So that was some bullshit. But the Warriors weren't guarding Zoo and Russ. So you got to give Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and the rest credit. Eric Gordon was unbelievable in the third quarter. So many open threes, the deep 30-footers that everybody's been talking about him giving us. He was splashing. And I just had to say, EJ for 3. Bingo! Eric Gordon from downtown. And I got to love it. EJ, 16 points on 5 for 11 shooting and 4 for 8 from 3. 4 for 8 from 3, 50% for good old number 10. I thought he was awesome. Also played good D. I'm pretty sure he got a steal in there as well, 2 of them. So the Clippers had 11 steals, and they did a good job of getting out and moving the ball quickly, making the Warriors pay in transition, getting the ball up and down the court fast with their athletes like Russ and Terrence Mann. And I'll tell you, man, Russell Westbrook, when he hit that bang shot off that offensive rebound, I was so hyped. And the best part about the game, he passed up some of those jumpers at the top. He was so patient. He was so smart. I've really never seen Russ pass up shots the way he did in this game and just stick to what the game plan was and excel. I've never seen a performance like this that didn't involve Russ being so good shooting the ball. 15 points. No, I'm sorry. I should say on the ball. Because when there were some games, obviously in OKC, where he didn't shoot well, but obviously he's creating so much for the team, so many open shots. This game, it was off the ball. There was one amazing interception and rotation he had. On the ball, point of attack, not that great, but defensively, on the rotations, help. He was engaged. He was rebounding, and I absolutely love his rebounding. It's amazing. 9 rebounds for Russ, second most of anyone on the team after Zoo, and the greatest out of them all. I talk about passing up bad shots, passing up the open 18-footers that they're baiting him to do from the top. 0. I repeat, 0 turnovers for number 0. How about Goatbrook, baby? Let's get some applause in the fucking chat right now. Dude, I am loving the Russ experience now. We're 4-5, okay, still under 500. But look, there is clearly a great role for him here, and he is clearly happy with it. Ty Lue didn't play him much in the fourth quarter, didn't close with him because, as I always say, the ball, in my opinion, tends to find non-shooters at the end of games. But in this game, again, you can make a case for Russ to start. I personally am not – to close. I am personally, as much of a Russ fan as I am, I don't feel comfortable with him closing as much as I am for a guy like EJ. But, the Russ fans are always going to want him to start and close because, they know that they have more faith in him than I do. And I have a lot of faith in him to play well. But I just don't want him to, take a bad shot when it matters most. And the defense just, first of all, in my opinion, if he was better defensively, we'd have more of an argument for him closing. But defensively, he's not good enough. So he shouldn't be closing, in my opinion. In like the last 3 minutes or 5 minutes, maybe. But 7 minutes is a little excessive, in my opinion. I want to see Russ play a little bit more in that fourth. But he was great. And I think, honestly, Ty Lue's doing Russ favors when he doesn't make him close because he was amazing tonight. He doesn't have a chance to have one of those bad turnovers, those costly misses, those costly poor decisions. None of that. He's saving Russell Westbrook from that. So we're just getting mostly great stuff from him. Honestly, I'm for it. I think Ty's done a great job with Russ. And clearly his man management has been good. One thing I've noticed about Ty, Bones Highland is getting less minutes here than he did in Denver. But he's been having a good attitude so far. And I heard from all the articles that the beat writers wrote that Ty Lue had a real conversation with him. And you know what? Something that's underrated that we don't know behind the scenes is the man management aspect. And I think Ty Lue, for the most part, has done a great job since he's become the Clipper coach. And how do I know that? Because of the players. For the most part, he's gotten the most out of the players. I mean, he's revived a couple careers. I mean, Reggie Jackson, he had him looking like Kyrie Irving. Nicholas Batum has had revival. But Steph Curry, you already knew he was going to come and make a little push in the fourth quarter, and he did, but he just didn't get enough assistance. Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole really cooled down. I love Dante DiVincenzo's game. I think he was trying hard, but he can't guard fucking Kawhi. And Paul George and him did their thing, and big threes made by Paul George late in the game in the fourth quarter to seal the deal. I thought the Clippers stayed in tune defensively. Curry still did some amazing things, but all you got to do is keep playing hard. That's all I ask. And I think the Clippers were first to the loose balls. Straight up. Taking care of the ball and getting offensive rebounds was the reason the Clippers won the game. And obviously they had 2 stars, and the Warriors didn't have Andrew Wiggins. Without Andrew Wiggins and Gary Payton, especially Wiggins, it's a huge loss defensively. Those guys that go out there and guard the best players every night, one thing I intend on doing in my historic timeline and just talking about basketball on my platform is to give those guys more credit. The guys that in every era primarily guard the opposing team's best player. Those guys deserve so much credit because that shit's not easy. And it's not just not just an effort thing. It's a real skill to be a good defender one-on-one. It really is. Some guys just ain't cut out for it. Guys that are amazing in rotations and can know every scheme in the book get their ass busted when they're on an island. So Guys like Michael Cooper, Andrew Wiggins, Drew Holiday, Bruce Bowen, Ron Artest, Trevor Ariza. These kind of guys, we want to shout them out a lot more on this channel. We will continue to do that. But the Clippers win it 134 to 126 to make it 4 in a row. They tie the season series against the Golden State Warriors at 2 apiece. We are now 37 and 33, 19 and 15 at home, which I still am not very proud of, but that home record is getting better. I remember it being around 500 most of the year. The Warriors are now 7 and 27 on the road, 36 and 34 on the year. I mean, as far as the Warriors, Jordan Poole didn't guard. Jordan Poole didn't come in terms of offensively in the second half. He didn't do much. Klay Thompson was just broke in the second half. And I don't think the Warriors got enough they didn't get anything offensively from Draymond Green, really. I mean, 3 for 7. It's really the defense, though. I shouldn't even be talking about offense. You scored 126 points. That's not the issue. It's really the defense for the Warriors. And look, you just don't have guys that can guard our best players without Andrew Wiggins and Gary Payton. DiVincenzo's a good defender. And you know what? Paul George was 8 for 21 tonight. But you guys are still showing him a lot of attention. And Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are making the right passes. And I thought some of those possessions were moving the ball, not from side to side, but just making the extra pass, just keep swinging it, were just beautiful. And I love the way we attack closeouts more, and that gets better when Marcus Morris doesn't play. But let's read the lines for the Clippers tonight. I really thought this was a fun game and a great performance from the team overall. I still think we have problems guarding the ball. Even Kawhi Leonard. I thought Kawhi Leonard, not guarding the ball, but I'm just saying even Kawhi and Paul George are not insane guarding the ball anymore, in my opinion. And if they are, well, we got to see them guard one-on-one more. But teams aren't going to put them in the action to guard their best their players one-on-one. You don't want Kawhi Leonard to come guard your best player. You don't want his guy to set a screen because he switches on you. Well, yeah, that's not what the preferred matchup. Let's put it that way. So let's read the lines. For the Warriors, they got 10 minutes from Moses Moody. I didn't even notice him. Nothing, not relevant enough. 16 minutes from ex-Clipper JaMychal Green, who had 7 points and 2 rebounds on 2 for 2 from the field. Look, I wasn't paying attention to the Warriors side of things because I'm a Clipper fan, but he probably didn't have the best defensive game, I would assume. Jonathan Kuminga had some good moments, 8 points, 4 for 5 from the field in 19 minutes, but he does seem to have a lot of defensive lapses off the ball. Points and 5 assists on 6 for 11 shooting and 3 for 5 from the three-point line. Already talked about him. His defense is just atrocious, though. As for the starters, who all played 25-plus minutes for the Dubs, 13 rebounds, 5 of those offensive rebounds, and 3 for 8 from the field. No free throw attempts for him. So, meh game for him. Come on, Looney got some rebounds. Draymond Green, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. A good old-fashioned triple single for Draymond of Saginaw. 3 for 7 from the field. Look, I had no issues. I mean, he played some decent defense, but overall, can't shoot. Doesn't even look at the basket sometimes. And we're okay with that. And clearly, Ty Lue was telling the guys, we're okay with letting him take that floater. We want to take the ball away from Steph Curry and Jordan Poole downhill. We're okay with that Draymond Green floater. We just don't want to give him an open layup. So at least send that rotation over. You just don't need to be right in his face when you contest him. So DiVincenzo, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists on 4 for 10 from the field and 2 for 7 from 3. I've seen him have better games than this one, so we got pretty lucky there that he didn't have a great game. Klay Thompson, only 15 points, 6 for 16 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3. He's been really good offensively of late. Happy he didn't pop off tonight. But listen to this stat line. 50 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, only 2 turnovers, 20 for 28 from the field, 8 for 14 from 3. So half his shots were threes. And I mean, 8 for 14 is insane. Only 4 free throw attempts, and he definitely should have had more. The Clippers definitely got the home-centric whistle in this one. 11 for 15 from the line for the Warriors. 26 for 32 from the Clippers. So we got more than double their free throw attempts. But I also think it's because we were more aggressive attacking the basket. And the Warriors, they shot a lot of threes. Clippers shot 34 threes, made 16 of them for 47%. That's amazing. And the Warriors were 17 for 36 from three, 47% for them. So, as well. So, both teams actually shot a lot of threes. Actually, that's about league average. But the Clippers had more shots taken because 8 more shots taken to be exact, because they turned the ball over only 7 times to the Warriors 16, and they got 16 offensive rebounds to the Warriors 7. So as amazing as Steph Curry was, the Clippers were the winning team. Terrence Mann, he was just spectacular. 17 points, 6 for 10 from the field, shot 1 3 and made it, 4 for 5 from the line, continues to attack the basket, continues to be active defensively, continues to attack closeouts, and finish strong around the rim. He adds so much athleticism to the team, some youth, and he's willing to run with Russ. Gotta love the man. Just want him to get more minutes, of course. 25 minutes in this one, but what can you do? Eric Gordon was amazing. 16 points on 5 for 11 shooting and 4 for 8 from 3. Just playing amazing basketball with Norman Powell out, honestly. He had some bad games, but these last 5, he's just been unbelievable. And then the starters. Besides Marcus Morris, who had 2 points on 1 for 4 shooting in 15 minutes. 15 minutes, that's all in the first half, mind you. He should never be playing that much. That means he's on track to play 30. But Russell Westbrook, 27 minutes. As I said, he should have gone like 30 to me. 15 points, 9 rebounds, 4 of those offensive rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 0 turnovers, 6 for 16 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the line. Listen, 6 for 16 is not that great, field goal percentage-wise, but I don't give a shit. He did so many other things well. The offensive rebounding is the best part about it. Just so much athleticism, swooping out of nowhere. 2 steals. They were both awesome steals that resulted in points. So, love it. Love it. Zubats, 19 points and 16 boards. This was a rare game where Ty Lue actually let Zubats close. And even though he was getting put in the pick and roll up by Curry and he was getting blown by, because that Curry hesitation is so lethal. I thought Zoo had some good moments defending the pick and roll, but more so in drop coverage against like Jordan Poole or Steph Curry in like more the first half. But when he had to come out to the 3-point line, Steph Curry was turning that corner easily on him or getting him on that hesitation. It's so filthy. But Zoo was making a pay on the other end. He was getting offensive rebounds. He was putting the ball back up and in, finishing strong. I mean, Zoo was awesome. 19 and 16, 5 offensive boards, 6 for 8 from the field, and 7 for 8 from the foul line. So you got to love that good free throw shooting from Zoo in 30 minutes. And then the duo, 2-on-3. Paul George, for me, was the player of the game because even though he was less efficient than Kawhi, he was guarding Steph Curry more, and I got to give him that credit. Kawhi did guard Steph Curry a little more in the last 5 minutes or so, but they were just getting a screen to get him off of him. But I thought Paul George, I just loved his intensity in this game. And he made the big shots at the end as well. So you can definitely argue Kawhi was the player of the game. Absolutely can argue it. He probably was. But I'm going to go with Paul George just because I challenged him to play better defensively. And he's been awesome the last 4 games defensively. So PG, 24 points, 7 assists, 1 turnover. Love that. 8 for 21 from the field, guarded Steph Curry more than anyone else. 4 for 9 from 3, so he shot very well from the 3-point line. 4 for 6 from the free throw line. Got to at least make 5 of those. 40 minutes, though, is a little much. And then Kawhi, arguably the player of the game. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, 10 for 19 from the field, 3 for 7 from deep, and 7 for 7 from the line. The guy is just playing out of his mind right now, but not really because that's just who he is. He's been playing great help defense. I think personally, though, there were a couple of times where he got beat backdoor. I think Paul George was the best defensive player for the Clippers in this one, but Kawhi Leonard is still great. I mean, his hands are so humongous. He gets his hand on so many loose balls and rebounds, and Kawhi did a great job on the glass in this one. 8 rebounds, but 5 of those came in the first quarter, so it kind of slowed down for him in that department because Zoo was getting everything, but he was just awesome. His shot making is incredible. His efficiency is unbelievable. He's got that flat jumper, but it is absolute cash. And the Clippers get a huge win. They're now in 5th in the Western Conference and only half a game behind the Phoenix Buns. We're coming, Phoenix. We want that home court advantage. My issue is 6 games in the loss column behind Memphis and John Morant set to come back in 8 games. As for that whole situation, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing that interview with Jalen Rose. John Morant coming back. I mean, we should have expected it. So the Grizzlies are still a threat to do things. It doesn't look like the Clippers are going to be able to get that top 3 seed. They're going to have to do a miracle. But here's the thing. If we don't match up with Phoenix, but we match up with the Warriors, like Phoenix or the Warriors, it's going to be a nightmare either way in that first round. But let's just take it one game at a time and see the Clippers play the best way they can play. Right now, they're currently the hottest team in the Western Conference. They're the only team to have won 4 consecutive games. The Thunder have won 3 in a row, but the Clippers have won 4 in a row. The Kings, though, Sacramento are 8-2 in their last 10. So you can say they're the hottest team in the West. But we just got to take it one game at a time. I'd honestly rather have home court advantage in the first round than not. If it's between 4 and 5, I'm obviously taking 4. But it is what it is. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you for listening. Make sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts if you want. And now I'm going to go to the live subscribers waiting oh so patiently in the chat. Super chats that turned on. Go on and jump $1 a dime. Let's fucking go, baby. 4 in a row. Needed that one. Russell Goatbrook. Hold on, actually, 1 second. Actually, I forgot. I want to say something real quick before we end. The Lakers, I did not get to catch their last 2 games, but I heard they had a big win against the Pelicans where they were amazing. Malik Beasley snapped out of his shooting slump and was hitting a bunch of threes, and AD was just awesome. But AD is officially getting the Kawhi Leonard treatment now. No back-to-backs at all. So that's going to hurt the Lakers a lot with LeBron out, and they lost the Houston Rockets tonight. The measly Houston Rockets, and apparently they just took it for granted. So that's a big loss. The Lakers are back to 10th. OKC's won 3 in a row because SGA just continues to be an absolute god. And now the Thunder are in 9th place. And I thought for a second they may be tanking when SGA was out, but oh no, they're not. They've come too far. It's going to be an interesting ending, but we're going to definitely be watching the Lakers more and talking about them as the season closes. Thank you for joining me tonight. Sorry about that. Go fucking Clippers. All right, let's see what we got, guys. My guys. Laker fan for life says, I got to get some sleep for work tomorrow, but before I do, congratulations on the big win. Not for the Clippers, I'm talking about Dime. Good night, my guy. Appreciate you. Giga Ben 2002 says, damn it, I wanted sleep early today. Oh, well, I'm swinging my feet in bed waiting for Dime to speak. Thanks, man. Who Dat Nut says, Clippers still suck. Lakers number 1. Bucks 2023 champs. Okay. Elias Almaudi says, yeah. Let's go. The guy 38 says 4 in a row. Yes, sir. We need 5 to feel alive. AK Scopey says 4 in a row. Let's win the next 12. Why not? Is that my man Axel? Elias Almaudi says against good, very good teams, but not. I don't think the Warriors without Wiggins are a very good team. Just keeping it a buck. Alhamdulillah, man. Everybody says. Elias Almaudi says this could be our year, broski. This team is solid. Oh no, here we go again. Who Dat Nuts just being a hater. We're not even going to read his comments. Elias Almaudi says Lakers only run good players out of town. Grandpa Braun and Street Clothes Davis gassed you guys up winning a Mickey Mouse bubble title. Uh-oh, he talking shit. Who Dat Nuts says Westbrook still sucks. Clippers first round exits. Glass Kawhi. Pandemic P. By the way, Podcast P is 4-0 right now since he started that podcast. I forgot to mention that. JHC213 says, good win. We definitely needed. Let's get 5 wins on Saturday. Wow, we got 2 more days off. These big rest games are great. My boy Spence, Clip Gang or Don't Bang. Happy to see you in the building tonight, Spence. He said we getting good. Elias Almaty says we getting good rest too. Who Dat Nuts says Warriors would win with Wiggins. Oh my God. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, my friend. We would have won a lot more games if we had Kawhi earlier in the season too. Dipshit. AK Scobie says, remember in Kawhi when October? Yeah, dark tunnel. Eventually we'll see the light. Danny from LA says, Dime, the Clippers will never win a chip. If I had a dollar for every time I've heard that in my life, I'd be able to buy your house, Danny. Sam Nicole says, fan from New Zealand. I love this team. Appreciate you, man. We love you. Elias Almaty says, you're being too technical, man. The difference was Senior getting ejected. That's funny. Elias Almaty says, the Clippers should instigate between Morris and opposing players every game. Tell him they talking about his mama, let him take a few swings, get ejected. Hopefully Rocco comes in. That's funny. Who Dat Nuts? Let me just say this. If you were born in 1990, so that would mean you are a 33-year-old man, and you're coming into or 32 years old, and you're coming into my chat to hate like that and just say Clippers suck. You need better things to do in life, my friend. To be a hater. AK Scopey says, cool. Yeah. Deacon says, I'm not trying to like on the guy, but the Clippers literally were better without Morris. Yeah, I mean, you're being honest. Who that nut says, this guy's just a hater, huh? Elias Almadi says Clay is a shell of himself defensively. Yeah, you're right. That's the biggest thing that's declined for him since the injury, because offensively, his numbers are like identical to 2019. It's amazing. Deacon, yeah, pile on the guy you said. Okay. Raid says, what's up, Raid? He says, Dari, how you doing, bro? I'm doing great, bro. You know how I am when the Clippers win. 57 KP News says, yes, sir. Big win tonight. Thank you, refs, for doing what Ty Lue wouldn't. That's funny. Elias Almadi says, Kawhi is the closest to Jordan I've ever seen. More than Bean. Nah. The efficiency is only because of the era, man. If Kobe was playing in this era, we'd be way more efficient. There's way more space. Notice Kawhi Leonard is getting single covered a lot, and when he gets doubled, he's got shooters all over the place. It's a lot more spacing it with the Clippers spacing. Listen, Kobe was not playing in lineups that went with like Rocco, Nico, and Marcus Morris at the 5. Like, that wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? And those bad shots he took and all that, like, he would be – the only thing I'll give Kawhi is a better three-point shooter. And right now, foul shooter. But in terms of the aesthetic, he doesn't shoot the off-balance shots like Jordan or Kobe. He's on balance every time. If you notice that about Kawhi, he's always on balance when he shoots. He doesn't take those faders, leaner. I mean, yeah, he'll take fadeaways when he's in the post, feet planted. But on the move, nah. The Kobe, the shots he would make, double pump fake, triple pump fake, leaners. Like, I'd seen him make every single shot possible. Kawhi Leonard still needs his feet set. You know what I'm saying? But or should I say, should be on balance. He can stop on a dime. But Kobe, he had the ability to rise and contort a lot easier. That's why I say he's much closer to Jordan. He had much more wiggle to his game. It's a lot, the word I'm really looking for. But that's what I think. Oh, that says LeBron better. David Day says, I know, right? Like button. Yes, sir. Everybody got to hit that like button. Crooktown P says, clip gang or don't bang. Salute, dime dropper. Yes, sir. What's good? Who that nuts is 80s better than Kawhi, guys? Yeah, no. Probably not going to read any more of his comments. Crooktown P says, I saw it live, my guy. Hey, way to represent. What section were you in tonight? So I saw it live, my guy. Best game so far all season. Hey, K. Scobie says, report this dude. Crooktown P says, I'm surprised Rocco didn't play after Mook got kicked out. Really? You think that? Nah. He said, why is Elias Almadi says, why his parents name him Jermichael? The screen, so. Scarlet Pup says, Warriors played their best road game and Curry went off for 30, but Clippers still won. Clippers can bang with Golden State. Listen, that's not the best Warriors road game. The Warriors road game that's the best has to be one that they won this season, right? Riot Chowdhury says, Warriors just can't figure it out on the road for some reason. I just think it's part of his chemistry, man. But no Wiggins is hard. They look like they played much harder tonight. And Curry was trying to be on a mission, but no Wiggins is hard. What's up, Zachary? Says, I'm here, my boy. Spencer says, I love driving to the rim and Westbrook aggressiveness to hold Team Man accountable, to step up offensively is great to see. I know when Team Man plays, he's hesitant, but Russ pushed him. EG was balling. Facts. Spence says, also only 7 turnovers tonight. Golden State Warriors 16. Yeah, I said that. Elias Almadi says, we wanted their balls way more. Yeah, got to nod your head to Curry. There is nothing you can do. Thank you, Chen 7500 says, $15 you're the man. What money is that? DKK? The Danish? Zachary says, the most Clipper thing, lose 5 in a row, then win 5 in a row. Whoa, don't get ahead of yourselves now. We need a win. Who do we even have next? Let's check. The Magic? Oh, my God. I'm going to be at that game for sure. A 12 o'clock game? Ooh, I don't think I can go. I don't think I can go, guys. I don't think I can go. Fuck. Yeah, I got somewhere to be, but I want to go to that game because it's cheap. But whatever. That's got to be 5 in a row. No excuses. That's got to be 5 in a row. Spencer said when Curry's on the – oh, I should have said when – I forgot to make the point that when Curry was on the bench, that's when we really made our run. Yeah, he said when Curry's on, he's on. Sheesh. Margit Eberback says Clippers easily championship level if healthy. Well, there's a big difference between championship level and championship. Spencer says Russ active hands and tangibles is great to watch. Curry was right. You can't teach that. Facts. Gearbus YouTube says, Dario, your videos on Locked On made watching Clippers much more interesting. Best Clippers content on the platform. Hey, man, I really appreciate that. Like, from the bottom of my heart, like, that makes it all worth it, man. Even when we're losing, just to hear that type of stuff is like, that means a lot. That's what I do it for. Elias Almadi says, us Thunder fans had a good – you're a Thunder fan? Us Thunder fans had a good with Russ. We had the privilege of seeing his energy and enthusiasm as well in his prime when he was just dominant and super athletic. Yes, thank you, Spencer. Elias had 0 turnovers from Russ. Eric Gordon cannot miss from that little logo at the top. Yeah. Janoy Far says 0 turnovers. Allahu Akbar. Zachary Darrington says Westbrook, yes, sir. Everybody's clapping it up for Russ. Elias Almadi says he's one of the clutchest players in the modern era. See, that just comes down to what your definition of clutch is, not your stats, bro. I'm sorry. That clutch stat shit, throw it out the window. That says LeBron's more clutch than Kobe. I mean, that's not true. It's not true. Stack That Cheese says Clippers win, Lakers lose. I love it. Props to Russ for the goose egg in the turnover category. Yeah, in the category, it's good to have a goose egg in. Spencer says Russ was okay with everything. That's facts. He's been such a good sport about everything. The stats don't lie. Yes, they do. They don't tell the full story, my friend. It's exactly the type of conversation that was having yesterday. These stats save you. They're excuses, man. We can break down the fucking film. One day we will. He takes bad shots. He's not a good three-point shooter. He's taking bad ones. He's been baited into. He's a non-spacer offensively. So even if he's not taking a shot attempt that goes in your clutch stat bullshit, he is not a threat to shoot the ball. Okay? And crucial turnovers. You know what I'm saying? These boneheaded plays. Yeah.